before watching the replay. I have two screens here. Well, the whole thing, it's an experiment today, so it doesn't really matter. So I was thinking that I wanted to work with some Lego. I'm actually working on this goddess, and I actually want to change, I want to make her dress more like stripes. And hey there. Oops. So I want to make it more stripes, and I thought, you know, I want to take some time off. I'm working now on my book, so I wanted, you know, just to get a little creative with my hands. And one of the things actually that is very difficult for me as I write my book is that I can't talk. You know, this is what writing is about, right? You can't talk. You have to totally be in your mind, in your thoughts. So I thought, okay, so let me have a break, and I can do my Lego thing. And at the same time, I can talk to you and to you. And, you know, that can be so much fun. Rocky the Squirrel. Okay, I don't know what that is, but it doesn't matter, right? It's an experiment. Let's see. Well, tell me a little bit about Rocky the Squirrel. I don't know what it is. So someone here just, you know, said Rocky the Squirrel. I don't know. Maybe this is Rocky the Squirrel. I don't know. I really don't know. Anyway, so there's one thing that bothers me in whole this experiment is that when I play with Lego, you see, it makes a lot of noise. So I don't know if I can talk and play with Lego. Can I talk and play with Lego? Can you hear me when I play with Lego and talk? I don't know. That's my only concern. But other than that, so yeah, so I'm working on my book now, but sometimes I just don't feel like sitting and writing. I feel like doing something else. So this is my time to be creative and also to share some things while I'm doing my Lego. So, you know, I don't have all day, as you can imagine. So I will, you know, I mean, I know you can't really see what I'm doing. Maybe, you know, maybe if I'm doing it high here, I really have to pick up pieces right now. So I'm trying, I don't know if I should make a new one. I have some thoughts, but I don't think I'll be able to even look at the camera if I make a new one. So right now I'm just thinking how I can, you know, change her dress. Let me also pull it a little more up. I want this part here to be also stripes. I think it's gonna be, you know, más squirrel like nuts. Oh, so you mean I'm nuts? That's okay. Totally okay. Is that what you're saying? Tell me. Let's get this going. We're experimenting here. There's no right and wrong. I'm doing my Lego anyway. So yeah, so that's what I'm trying to do. But then on the other hand, then I said, you know, why don't I make a new one, like a new sister goddess or something, you know? So, you know, anyway, let's see. This is yeah, that's what's happening right now. Hey there, hello. Making Lego here today. That's a goddess, you see, very important goddess. I don't know the goddess of what, but it really doesn't matter, does it now? And I'm also sharing things about my book. So wait, let me wave at you. Yeah, so great to see you here. Hey guys. Oh, so I was just saying, I'm making a Lego, I'm making a goddess, and I'm talking about my book. And one of the reasons I'm doing this is because when I write, I can't talk. And that's very frustrating for me. I think that's my biggest problem when it comes to writing, it's that I can't talk. So now I'm like, you know, doing a Lego and I'm talking and I can share things with you. And it's just a little I don't know, it's a little different. I thought it's a good something to just try, you know, to see if that's something I can work. So next time I want to do a live, and I want to play with my Legos, and I want to work on my goddess, and I want to have a break as in my writing life. And you know, and we can hang out, right? I thought it's a great idea. Yeah, I really don't know what will happen. You know, the problem is, yeah, Lego is a little noisy, right? Like every time someone is sleeping, I feel see, like, and I have to find pieces. I really don't know if this can work. Maybe it can work a little bit. I already see the problem. I already see a little noise problem that you know, conversation. Anyway, we're rolling today. We're rolling. So let me talk about my book. So, but my book, I have not decided yet completely on the title. And hey there, I'm trying to wave here. I have not decided completely the title, but I have a working title. But I'm not even sure about the working title, if you know what I mean. And that's because as I write the book is really revealing itself. It's writing itself in some weird way. Anyway, so the working title, okay, of the book is The Self-Magic Effect. Yes, I would like it to roll a little better, but I haven't found something that rolls better. And I know that many people don't know what self-magic is. That's why I'm writing the book, so you'll find out. But the whole idea is, it's based on some work I've been doing in the last few years. And it has been work that has been life-changing for me. So I thought, if it has been life-changing for me, it can be life-changing for someone else. But I'm going to tell you the 3 main parts of the book, because this is actually, I feel inspired like sharing now. Let me see, maybe I can have a little better light from here. Is it better? I don't know. Is it better? So I think I'm missing some of these pieces. So I'm going to start now. I'll take out some pieces so I can use them. And I hope it's not going to be too noisy and too, too lethal. Like, I hope I'll be able to bring this back to what it was. Let me just, okay, it's actually working. Perfect, you see? Lego, you need to know how to treat it, because sometimes it can really, ruin everything. So, there are 3 things about this book. And one is really about creativity. And what, yeah, this is what happens when you are trying to go live and build a goddess. And this is exactly what happens. And now I have to pick from the floor like some really important pieces, but it's okay. It's an experiment. Oops, okay, we're still alive somehow. There's one hand missing, you see. Here's the other hand. Oh God. Maybe this is not the best practice in life. Hey, here is another goddess joining. I just broke my goddess. It's okay. It's okay. Here I am. Here's the goddess. Anyway, so I decided to do a live where I play with my Lego and I talk about my book in the meantime, because when you're a writer, one of the things you can do is talk. And actually, I remember the days, a lot of days that I've been working on the Saki Tarot. One of the things that I loved the most I loved, is to actually talk on the phone while I'm working on it, when I'm getting like creative. Because then what happens is that my mind is not around. It's not around. It's busy doing other things, and it can think in new ways, and I am just letting, things happen. So, but when I write, I cannot do that. I can't even listen to a podcast. I have to, these are durable goddesses. They are, thank goodness. Aren't we durable goddesses, right? We are durable goddesses. Someone here said that these goddesses are durable, but really we are durable goddesses, because, we kind of have to go through a lot of stuff, right? So we're durable goddesses. So, what was I saying? Yeah, it's hard to do this thing twice. So I was saying that I love talking on the phone. And now I can't do that because I'm writing. And when you write, you can't talk on the phone. You have to concentrate. So I really miss that. Like, that's one of the things in being in writing. And that's why I don't call myself a writer. And I don't want to have a writing life. Sorry, I know it sounds horrible. And also I know, you may love to write, right? But that's the only reason I will never call myself a writer. Not because whether I can write or not, because it's not my ideal activity. My ideal activity, like this is more, like doing this Lego thing is more my ideal activity than writing. Because then I can talk, and then I can be somewhere else with my mind. This is really what drives me. I want to be somewhere else with my mind. Again, I know it doesn't sound good. It doesn't sound so good. But this is me, you know, that's what I care. I care to be somewhere else with my mind. And yeah. So yeah, that's the only thing I can say about that. So anyway, I was saying about my book. Please feel free to ask me something. You know, it will help me gather my thoughts, because right now my thoughts are a little squatter. Anyway, I said it's an experiment, so I don't care. But also, you see, I'll just show you. This piece now fell, and I don't know where it is. And I don't know if I should look at it on the floor or not. And I'm not sure how that thing was connected even here. And if other pieces fell, and if I should look for them. And it's really not a simple thing to do that, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, so back to the whole writing thing. So I find it fascinating, you know, what is the thing that comes easier to us and what doesn't. So this whole writing is not my thing because of that part. I don't like my mind to be part of creation. I know it sounds horrible to say that, but this is what it is. But the only way sometimes to, oh yeah, you're saying you love that, you know what works for you. Yeah, it's so good. Exactly. You know, I'm not denying it. And I can still find myself really spend so much time writing, actually. Especially in the last few years. I'm spending a lot of time writing, but it's not my passion. Like if you told me, you know, Monica, like this is one creative activity you could do from now to the rest of your life, I wouldn't know. No, don't give me pen and paper. Like, you know what? You can give me pen and paper, but not to write words, like to, you know, to sketch or to do other things. So yeah. But writing has become now a big part of me, because if I don't write, how can I express my thoughts? How can I share, you know, my message? This is it works, this writing thing. It just works. So I have to embrace it, and I have to go with it. And I'm going to say also, I have found joy in it. I'm not suffering, but it's just not my big natural thing. That's all. And I also don't know if it's my biggest talent either. But it doesn't matter, because, you know, I'm not writing novels. Maybe I'll write one day a novel. So, you know, never say never. But I'm just drawn to bring out, you know, what comes out. This is what I'm most concerned with these days, really. If I feel I have to write this book about self-magic, about creativity, about the whole idea of self-portraits and mirroring your value back to you. And then of course, about the colors that this is really my tool, right? The colors are my tool to really dive the deepest possible into places to find out things. This is really what it is. I think there are many ways to dive deep and find truths and exert things. I think there are many. I'm not saying it's the only one. And thank God that there are many, because, you know, we all have not only things that work for us, but we all, you know, there's something that's way more important of what can help me, you, of what can help us, you know, of what can work. I think that, and you're going to love this. I know you're going to love this. Say that. I like that you share your view with the rest of us. Thank you. I really appreciate that. So, but listen, you're really going to like what I'm going to say right now. That one of the things that is important, I think, to find your own regardless of what works for us or not, is your opportunity to find your medicine. I think this is much bigger and stronger than what I will ever have to share, or what would anybody ever have to share. I think when someone is sharing their blueprint, their steps, their way, their process, their whatever, it's not just for you or whoever to go and do the same. Although if you do the same, if let's say I share something that really inspires you, then you will absolutely benefit by following these steps, right? By going through a certain process that, I'm showing you or someone else is showing you. But the beauty to me is that you that inspires you to come up with your own medicine to fix your own problem. Because this is where creativity is, not just to come out with outcomes. I also believe it's great to come out with processes. What do you think about that? I'm really curious, because this is something I feel very, very strongly about, that I want to help people really come up with their own process. And the people actually that I thank you, that I consider most creative are people that coming out with their own process of doing things. And sometimes I want to take this process on and make it my own. Other times, hey, Nikki Groom, I'm waving to you. Oh, you're going to like that too, Nikki, what I just said. So sometimes I like someone's process and I want, to go to it. And sometimes it's just the marvel of discovering not only what works for you, but how you can translate that into your own process. This is the biggest marvel. And I think everybody should really, especially if you're stuck, if something is not working, for you and you need help. I think that sometimes it's just looking for a solution is one, part that will move you. But some other times it's not what will move you to a solution, is for you to try to come up with a way to solve the problem. Like, not just look for the answer, to come up with a way to see how you can find an answer. I agree, I can never just do the steps someone else gives, but want to go in my own way with it too. What is your zodiac sign? Interpret goddess, tell me. Because, it's... I'm like that too. Like, I feel okay, so these are nice steps, but it's not exactly my thing. But sometimes some people are giving steps that actually I do find myself as able to put my own twist in there, And for example, I'm going to talk now about my own steps. Oh, there you go. Okay, yeah, I'm water. I'm a Scorpio. Nice to meet you. So, you have to feel it. Otherwise, it's not going to work. So that's what it is. So one of the things, for example, with my colors, and why I found it so powerful, and, allowing me to talk about it, because that's my thing, is that the colors can be taken anywhere. Like, they're not exactly steps. They're not even suggestions. They're more like, signs. I'm not even sure how to, triggers. They just probe you to go in a certain way. But you really need to discover your way. You really need to find how that translates in your language, that way thing. Because if it doesn't translate into your language, then you didn't take it. So I'm not telling you do this and then do this and then do this. I'm just giving you each time a different path, because my whole thing is one color at a time. It's very important to separate the colors. So I'm giving you each time, now focus here. And what does that create of you? What is coming out of you, when it comes to that? And then you see, and then you can really see, what is coming up. So this is really the beauty of it, that you have the power to actually build your own medicine. And you're actually letting me, I never thought of it exactly that way, but you see, this conversation is even bringing that up. Isn't that, this is what is experiment. You never know what's going to happen. I should do this more often. So I think that's the biggest thing, to really create our own, Is there another word for medicine? Medicine sounds something, medicine. Well, it's a healing thing, medicine, right? So I guess it is a good word, medicine. Maybe there is something that sounds a little more playful. Is there a playful medicine? Not drugs, not my thing. Anyway, so this is what it's, really about, my book. This is what it's about. And I'm spending a lot of time lately in cafes, because I don't like to write at home. Another thing I don't like to do with writing, because what happens if I write at home is that I don't write. I start laundry and I have to cook something, and I bring myself some more coffee, and then this gets my attention, and then that gets my attention, and nothing gets done, just nothing gets done. And then I'm frustrated that I didn't do enough, and blah, 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 blah. So I'm just trying to get myself out of here, as much as possible, because otherwise it's not happening. I don't know. It's not very, I need some other colors here. Yeah, right? It's too noisy to really play with, to really dig in the Legos. Well, at least now we know that. So, where is my other, maybe here. So, yeah. This is what's going on. And I also miss doing work that is creative, is kind of visually creative. But you know what's happening now? What's happening now is that I also have to make a cover for my book. Ha ha ha! There goes. That's another mega topic. A cover for my book. So I work from home. It's similar. Yeah. I also work from home, but that's the whole thing. You need sometimes to just, when there's some things that you absolutely need to get done, you better get out, because otherwise it's just not happening here. I see it. Sometimes it's better to take half an hour to go to a cafe, spend 2 hours there and come back, and that's like, let's say 4 hours the whole thing. But actually I put in 2 hours of work, and if I had here 4 hours, I would maybe put in half an hour of work. Horrible. It's just horrible. Anyway, so I was talking about the cover, and one of the things I was thinking, how to go about it. So one of the ways that I love, sorry about the noise, that I love going about it is found objects, because this is really, hey there. This is what I believe in the most, find object. For example, you see here, okay, I have quite a lot of Lego, but I don't have that many Legos. So I'm trying to see, what can I do with what I have? And that, it's very challenging, because sometimes I just have to, figure out what to do with it. And other times it can open a whole new possibility for me of things I have not thought and have not looked for. So now when it comes to the cover, I'm thinking, okay, so what am I going to, how am I going to go about the cover? Am I going to look for things I already have? I mean, of course, I'm not going to use something as is. Of course, I want to create something new, right? That makes sense. Am I going to use as, to begin with, something that I already have? Or I'm going to create something from scratch by thinking about it? And am I going to create one cover, or I'm going to create, who knows how many? So, sorry about the noise again. I really need to find some yellow paper. So these are some things I'm really spending a lot of time thinking about them. Because it's part of the creative process, and it's also one of the things that I'm writing about. I'm writing a lot about the creative process. So while I'm doing this, I'm also in this questioning things. Now this time the creative process for me is very different. It's different because when the last time I did a big project, not only the last time, every time I did a big project, because I've done quite a few big projects and I love working on big projects. I never shared. It was before the social media time, and I don't need to share. I'm pretty self whatever magic. I don't need to share. Also, I'm not very much looking for I am looking for validation, I'm gonna be honest, but I'm not really looking for feed. Like, I can show it to one or two people. I don't want to. It's not only I don't want my work to be translated into followers and stuff, but I don't need that. Like, for me, if one person that I really value their opinion, like, gives me like some approval, that's all I need. I don't need anything else. And then the rest, could say whatever they say. So I am looking for approval. I'm not gonna lie. I am looking, but not in the way that is about massive feedback. And also I realize that the less I show people, then the more I can really do my own thing, which is another very important thing these days, because when you have so much inspiration coming to you, through this whole social media, it's very hard to stay on your own track and to be really in touch with what is your own dream, right? Like, what is it that it's really important for me? What do I really want that is not related to what I've seen around? It's not related to how other people find success. It's not related to the latest trend. So, for example, when I did my tarot deck, I knew nobody that does that. I did it because I wanted to do something that doesn't need text. Haha. Now I'm writing. Understand the irony of this? Who knew? Like, I would never, ever think then that I would write anything. Not even my companion book for the tarot book. That was also like a miracle that I don't even know how it happened. No clue how it happened. So, very hard when you're bombarded with inspiration from so many sources and so many good sources. I have to say, just go on Instagram, you see these amazing things everywhere. How can you really listen to yourself? How do you do that? I don't know. Sometimes I'm thinking, and I have discovered that lately, there were some things I was working on that were not mine. They were just not mine. It took me a long time to see whether they were mine or not. But I have to say, even as teenagers, right? That is that age that we're like trying a lot of stuff, good and bad. If you don't try, how do you know if it's yours or not? So that's another thing. You have to try. And sometimes trying, it means to consciously or not consciously doing something that some other people are doing, or either because it works for them, or it just looks good. I don't know, because I think that sometimes I do see people that do some things that are similar to mine in some way, then it's not really, then it's more like, okay, this is so good, doing what you want but not what everyone else does or thinks. This is my challenge. Yes, exactly. Yeah, you're so right. It's a challenge and an opportunity. So I was just saying, when I see someone that does something that speaks to me, like really speaks to me, then I'm inspired in a different way. I'm not inspired in like, oh, this is a cool thing, maybe I should try it too. No, it's not like that. It's more like, okay, this is inspiration in the form of confirmation. Is someone else is taking my ideas, not taking is like stealing, because they also have these ideas. They're taking my materials, again, I'm not, you understand what I'm saying. They're taking thoughts that are similar of mine, and they are already doing something with it. Seems to work. You never know. You never know what's happening in other people's backyard. So sometimes, this is just, isn't this how quotes work? When you read a quote and you're like, oh my God, I should have written this myself, right? Sometimes it's a new quote. Okay, if it's a new quote you never heard of, sometimes like you see a quote and you're like, wow, this is some wise words. This is very interesting. Like, this intrigues me. I'm going to start thinking about it, right? So there's this kind of a quote inspiring you that way. And then there's a quote that you read and like, this is my quote. Like, I think that all the time. Someone just put it into these beautiful words. Or you can say, oh my God, this is just, wow, this person, like, look, we have the same mindset. So my thoughts are actually out there somewhere. They're not just my very private thoughts. They're totally out there. And so this is another confirmation that you get. And also then, sometimes this kind of mirroring is very helpful to help you own your work. First of all, there's so many things that, look, they say that everything has been done, but unless you've done it, nothing has been done. For those people that copy, there is so much you can copy. There's just so much you can copy. Who wants? Let them copy. You have your own things. You don't need to copy anybody. That's how I feel. I will always have something new. I'm not afraid of people that copy, and I'm not afraid. You see, sometimes I'm thinking, am I copying this person? Is it mine or I'm copying this person? I've thought of that. I do see myself as someone who has very high creative integrity, but sometimes it's like, oh my God, this person is doing that. So is that mine or am I copying? But I think there is really not so much worry about it if you're going through your own process. So, I'm going back to what you said, and I'm reading this again, okay? Do what you want, but not what everybody else does or thinks. This is my challenge and opportunity. So, I would say that... So what do you need? You need blinders, not to see what everybody else is doing. Sometimes that can be helpful, blinders. But other times, blinders can leave you in the blind, because if you want to do something and everybody else is already doing it or speaking about it in some way, you actually do want to be part of that conversation. You want to be part of the conversation. You want to be... You want to... And actually, this kind of talk, being part of the conversation, can actually... add to your own inner conversation, and it can release, and it can push you. The whole, so there's no right and wrong here. The whole idea is, what do you do with your time and with your distractions? And if you're joining someone else's conversation, I'll get to your comment in a second. If you're joining someone else's conversation, it's really, does it add to your focus or does it take away from your focus? It's more about that. It's not so much about influence. If it's a conversation that you're already in your mind, it's not the fear of getting influenced the right or wrong way. What does it do to your focus? Does it add to your focus, or is it distraction to your focus? So, when it comes to faith, you're saying, I think I need faith in myself. Faith is a very interesting point. I think it's a big one. I think faith, I'm not going to talk about religious faith now, but I think to say that you believe in something needs some... it's a big question, asking someone, do you believe in this? It's a big question. it's not a simple one. And I think that's my recommendation to you. Yeah. You should not ask this kind of question. I don't ask myself that question, if I have faith in me or not. Because, I don't know, will I get an answer right away? If I will if I have faith in me? In general, I discovered that one of the things that makes me do things better is not to ask the big questions. It's not shallow at all, but to go straight. You know where I go straight? I go straight here. Straight here. I'm not showing this as a piece of a goddess, okay? I'm showing this as a play item. I'm going straight to play. I'm not asking these huge questions. I'm not asking my why. I'm not asking my beliefs. I'm not asking my value. I'm not asking what is authentic to me. I'm not asking these things. They don't get me anywhere. Do I need more light? Let me see if I can get a little more light here too. Because the lights start to go out. No, there is a problem. Because my kids turned on the thingy. So anyway, yeah. So don't ask the big questions. Big questions are good for other times. You want to ask these questions. Just start playing. This is my recipe. Just start playing and see what comes up. And actually, I'm going to tell you something that I am going to put in my book, and I wrote it this morning. That right? It helps. Forget one's beliefs now. Sacred contract with yourself. Like, who's time for that? So one of the things that I put a note to myself actually this morning, it was, one of the things, I'm a lot into this self-portraits thingy. So one of the things is, there are two things that I'm not focusing on, okay? And one of the things is I'm not frame focused. It means I'm not looking for a specific, you know what I'm going to do that. I'm going to put some light that way. I'm not looking for a specific, how is that? I'm not looking for a specific frame. So not frame focused and also not problem focused. I'm not asking myself what is the problem I want to solve while I'm doing that. And I'm not looking for that one big frame, iconic frame that is going to express all that I am, and I'll put it on my website, and I'll put it on my Instagram feed, and I'll put it everywhere. No. I'm just showing up and see what shows up. Pretty much what I'm doing right now. This is fun. Thank you for being here. When you have a little bit of, these things get lonely. So this is really great. I love that. So this is the thing, if you start, do I have faith in myself? And how can I believe in myself more? And I don't know, these are questions I don't want to answer because I feel they're heavy, they're heavy. And I know so many love journaling and ask these questions, and, I don't want to ask these questions. You have lightened your heart. Well, my pleasure, absolutely my pleasure here. So, these questions are not taking you anywhere. They may have amazing insights. I'm not saying nothing is going to come if you ask them, but they don't really, I don't know. I don't get joy in writing 3 pages of what do I believe in, I do get some joy. What has helped me in the past, and I started doing this. I was in my I was 19, like I was not even 20. And I remember I was in a tough situation that day, and I was feeling so grumpy. I was like absolute grump. And I remember I asked myself, okay, so what's the problem? I'm going to write down what is bothering me now. All the things that bother me, to see how serious this is. And I just did bullet points. I had it in a little, a little sticker like this. That was my writing. So I just, put the bullet points. And one of them was that I've been in the same day at the dentist, and I still had pain. Okay, fine, but that's not a reason for grumpiness. Then, my boss told me, I can't leave early, and okay, that's, again, I thought, okay, that sucks, but it's not, I added, 2-3 more things. I think I had like 5-6 things that were like bothering me, made me feel so, bad. And then I finally, I stepped on the one thing that was really, really bothering me. And then I could look at it, and it already kind of, when it was only that, and not only, the tooth pain and this boss doing and that, it was already something, it was manageable. Like I realized that it's not worthy now for me to be so upset and so, moody and so, whatever. So, that's when it comes to journaling. But again, I know some people that journaling, I don't know, saved them. So why not? Why not? Anyway, so the whole idea, my recommendation to you is to just, start playing and see what comes, and forget about believing in yourself or not. Because, for example, you see, I'm here now playing. Am I asking myself, am I believing in myself right now? I don't know. I know I'm advancing my little statuette here. And I'm having a nice, conversation with you. And the rest is really just not as important. Just not as important. So the whole idea is to play. That's what it is. And to make it easy peasy. So if you have any question, let me know. Because I think I'm ready to wrap this amazing time up. Because I want to go get some hot drink for myself. And also I want to really dive into the box of Legos and find some pieces that are missing and make a lot of noise. And I also want to think about all these thoughts again and to crystallize them. Because I think I've said in this experiment some things I want to put down. So thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate your presence. And if you have any question later on, please add it to the comments and I'll get back to you later, okay? So have a great, amazing Friday. Mwah! Mwah! Bye-bye! Oh, Zohar! Now you're coming. Are you coming now? Now that I'm about to go, I just said bye-bye. This made your day. I'm off to play. Oh, absolutely. Are you on my list? Are you on my list? I never, I've seen you on Instagram, but I'm so not soon. Okay. If you're not, get on. Okay, get on because I'm gonna be, whatever, all these things. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Go play. Okay. Bye. Do. Zar, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? Bye. Yeah, and live video. Yes. I went.